Former Virginia Governor Doug Wilder, as always, good to have you back again and see you.
Always good to be with you, Sam. As I said, good to have seen you after such a long period of time.
Yes, we'll have to explain that to the viewers sometime in the course of this. I want to ask a broad question from you, history and panorama. But you first ran for elective office way back in 1969, 55 years ago. You've since been a state senator, lieutenant governor, and we cannot overlook the fact you were His Honor the mayor of the city of Richmond some years after leaving the governorship as well. So you've seen politics on many levels over the years. We would agree that now things are contentious. It could be locally, nationally, whatever the case may be on that. I'm sure, I would imagine you would have some thoughts on, based on your experience and background, what would you tell the candidates, whatever office they're running for in the country right now, what they could or should do to be more constructive and more positive in their campaign, and then certainly if they end up being elected and are running the government? I know you've got some thoughts and wisdom on that. I'd like very much to hear it.
Well, first of all, as you've indicated, I've been at various levels. I learned early on, though, that level of government that's most important to the people is that which is closest to them. And that's local government. And local government, that's where your schools are. That's where your housing authority is. That's where your police and public safety is. That's where your medical attention and health concerns are, at the local level. Now, how do they exist? They exist through the bureaucracies of state government and national government. But you must always remember that the buck stops with the people. Listen to them. Find out what it is that they are interested in. Find out what makes the mayor trot at their level. Find out if trash is being collected as it should be by talking to the people. When I was mayor, I insisted on having, I had a police chief that was recommended by a commission that I had put forth, comprised of people from all walks, business, education, etc. I got this police chief. He believed, and he came from Washington, D.C., but he believed in what you call community and sector involvement. In other words, the people live in the community. The police live in that community. If you got a problem, call that person. You don't call 911. You don't call the operator. You call that captain in that precinct. He knows. Then the lieutenants know, the sergeants know. My police chief was so impressed by the people, and they were him, that when we would go into a community together, people would come to see him before they would come to see me. Oh, chief, how are you doing? Oh, Mr. Mayor, how are you? Fine. And that let me know something. And he's doing a tremendous job. Semi-retired now in North Carolina. But in having learned that and knowing that, then I've learned that you carry that to the next level. At the state level, when I have people say to me, I'm going to run for office, and I say to them, okay, what have you done? Well, I want to be here because I like education. All right. What have you done? Well, I want to do this because I want to improve something relative to housing. Okay. What have you done? And Sam, I don't mind telling you, the answers that I get are not too fulfilling. They have done nothing that they can ultimately claim to be something that was good, something that was positive. Have you gone to a school board meeting? Have you spoken? Have you gone to a housing meeting? Have you spoken? Have you been critical to the extent of demanding of those that represent you now that they do more? And have you gone to the city council meetings? Have you gone to the legislature? Have you written letters to the editors of the newspapers? Have you tried to get your voice to be heard? If you haven't done any of that heretofore, then what makes the people believe that all of a sudden your being elected is going to automatically transform you into being a magnet to get things done? Doesn't work like that. So I think it's very important, most important, for people who seek public office to show what they have done, whether they've been successful at it or not. And we need to see more of that.
As you were speaking, Governor, I remember a good mutual friend of ours, the late John Dalton, said that he felt that coming through the legislature, and as you're saying, making your mark and learning and doing something, that he said that he felt it was so valuable and key to either have been on appropriations in the House or finance in the Senate. I'm sure you would understand his reasoning on that, was perhaps a very worthwhile component of your background to give you the knowledge to be governor and then run the state, that you needed to understand that nuts and bolts.
What he was saying in essence is
Got
that
it that way.
what he was saying in essence is that the buck starts and stops with the buck.
Mm-hmm.
My one word definition for politics is money.
Mm-hmm.
I lectured to a class this morning, and I asked this class at one of our professors' class at VCU. I said, in leadership, I said, I want you to name me one thing that isn't involving money as far as government is concerned. Name me one thing. And they couldn't. And that is a question that your audience needs to consider. Where is the money coming from? Is it never ending? Who controls it? Or who determines where it's spent? And I knew John Dalton, as you pointed out, we were good friends. And I served on the Committee of Finance, and I knew how important it was to get things done and see things done. I served as chairman of many committees before I ran for lieutenant governor. But in all of those, in every instance, the question is, where does the buck start and stop? One of the biggest cases that came out of the United States Supreme Court some years ago was Citizens United versus, I've forgotten the news group. When I was in law school, I always learned that, and still they teach, that a corporation is not a person, that a corporation is a corporation controlled by persons.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you could control the amount of money that was contributed by persons in elections, but by corporations in elections, but you couldn't control the amount of money contributed by any person.
Mm-hmm.
And so under that umbrella, now you have the money that comes into politics doesn't come from John Doe as such, comes from everywhere, all around the world, through the prism of Citizens United. Money, money, money. I predict that until some curtailing of that takes place, we will continue to have problems as we see on a regular basis. Regular.
Governor, your predictions over the years, I could pull out a stack of them that all came to pass. Some were good news, some were bad news, but they came to pass.
And it's good to have an opportunity to speak to the people as we're doing now. And the people, they relish it. They want to hear more. Not elect me, or this one's no good, that one's no good. What makes you good? And what have you done?
Well, I feel that that and the background that you have given people today with these various segments in terms of understanding what really happens after someone's elected, what are their duties, what are their responsibilities, has been of great value. An informed citizen is always a plus for democracy. No question about that. I know you would agree with me
Very well.
1000% with that thinking. But it's, again, I say, much appreciated. It's been very much enjoyable to have you, and I thank you so very much.
Thank you very, very much, and thank you for the cordial invitation. God bless you.